While the political debate around energy shifts back and forth, around 2 million homes and businesses have made the switch to rooftop solar. But the money flowing into renewables, some of it from government subsidies, has meant a rush of new players in the market and some very unhappy consumers. This story by Liz Hobday with production by Chris Gillette and Danny Tran.
Retiree Trevor Pratt is the most connected man in his neighbourhood.
I've got 28 solar panels. I've got 2 batteries, Tesla batteries, and I drive a Tesla car. Solar energy is going to be there till we all die.
Even driving at night, his car is powered by the sun.
Australia has the most solar energy of any continent in the world. It's got equivalent, if not better, than the Sahara Desert.
He invested $40,000 on a solar and battery setup to eliminate future bills.
Hi, Liz. Come on in.
Thank you.
My bill's zero. I get a plus in the summer and it's zero through the winter.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that it's using the technology the way it's supposed to be used.
Are you happy with the money you've spent?
Yes, very. Depending on pricing, it could be a 6-year payback. After that, it's all free.
Now to Tasmania's weather. There's a total fire ban for Greater Hobart, the southeast. Launceston, hot and mostly sunny. It's 32, 9 above average. Hobart, very hot and sunny.
If you're born on the land, I think it's always in you because there is an incredible freedom and there's an incredible opportunity.
6th generation farmer Roderick O'Connor is feeling the heat. So now he's trying to harness the sun. He recently installed 200 solar panels to try to lower his power bills and reduce his carbon emissions.
Basically made the decision to go solar farming in around about August last year. I can't see power prices reducing. We think we're saving around about 50% of current prices on just this system alone. It's going to reduce my power bills on this particular site by around about $7,000 a year.
His solar system is being used to power irrigation pumps, and it's already halved his electricity use.
We've changed the way we farm and we're changing the way we try and look at costs so we can actually run a viable business into the future.
This is a graph showing what's been powering Australia since 1990. As you can see, we've always been heavily reliant on black and brown coal.
There are 2 problems. One is that the prices keep going up, and second, that there's increased risk of blackouts. We need to be replacing the ageing coal generators as they leave the market, and we can't replace them with coal, so what are we going to use?
Australia has the highest uptake of rooftop solar per household in the world. Overall, renewables have been shown to reduce the price of power, while solar systems give households more control over their energy bills.
I think a lot of people are doing it because they feel like they really want to just take control of them themselves because they don't feel like governments are looking after them.
The average solar household saves more than $500 a year. But the renewables industry has been kick-started by government subsidies, for which each household is paying on average more than $100 a year.
There's a subsidy now being paid by people who don't have rooftop solar, and it's just not necessary anymore. So there's just no reason now to get people who don't have rooftop solar to pay for your rooftop solar.
Anything that is government subsidised opens the door for people or companies who want to make a dollar out of the system. So be very careful that you're not just a pawn in their way of making a lot of money.
For those Australians who've decided to install solar panels, the sun doesn't always shine.
The dent it's made has not been worthwhile. I think possibly after about 20 years we might get our money back.
This solar system in Brisbane's west cost Alex Smith $9,000 back in 2012.
It became obvious very quickly that it was not delivering anywhere near the sort of return that a 3 kilowatt system should return. The efficiency of the system was nowhere near what I was told it would be, and the returns were very disappointing.
The panels were placed on a shed roof, partly shaded by trees.
I expected somebody to come out here and physically inspect the site and say whether it was suitable or not. But the way they did it was just simply to look at an aerial satellite photo of the property.
He says a vital part, the system's inverter, has failed 3 times. Each time it's had to be replaced.
The message from me that may help others is do your homework before you install solar. Your home or your roof or the angle of your house might not be right.
Solar panels should last for decades, but the market's been flooded by cheap and substandard products. 7:30 can reveal new data from the Consumer Action Law Centre shows Australians are increasingly being burned by solar. At least 700 solar companies have gone out of business in the last 8 years, and it's left an estimated 650,000 consumers as so-called solar orphans, many with worthless warranties.
You just saw this swarm of people come into a market where you actually didn't have many people in the market. So a whole lot of new players came in, and that's always a bit of a worry.
Investors in renewables have long been asking for long-term policy stability and infrastructure upgrades.
When we think about the building that we need to do, it needs long-term certainty to get it right and to get the infrastructure that we need to do right. But the political reaction, if you like, is simply a symptom of how the community's feeling. The community is really worried. We hear that worry and we listen to it.
But renewables themselves are not problem-free.
Solar panels generally have a 25-year warranty. We're seeing a lot of panels that were installed, say, 8 or 9 years ago that are coming off roofs at the moment.
Most are destined for landfill. This facility in South Australia is the only site in the country that's dedicated to dealing with solar panel waste, and it's nowhere near keeping up with demand.
We're doing approximately about 500 to 600 a day.
The panels are stripped down to their components and the materials separated for reuse.
Because it's an emerging issue that's not really looked at.
Sooner or later, about 1 million tonnes of solar panels will end up on the scrap heap. But it's a problem Australians have largely ignored.
So it's a bit like something that's growing underneath their feet. That's potentially going to be a huge problem if it's not handled properly. And what it could mean potentially is a huge landfill issue.
We're in the midst of a transformation without a plan, and that's the problem. So we know we have to change the way we produce electricity in Australia. We're not quite clear on what that looks like into the future. And that anxiety is driving governments to step in and take all manner of steps to try and be seen to be remedying it, bring down power prices, create a sense of certainty. But there is a lack of a national plan to execute a change in the electricity supply.